Good morning. You're welcome to another edition of Import Export Helpline Facebook Live from 3Team Pest Trade Academy. We continue our conversation this morning. We started discussing understanding export market entry strategy. That was yesterday. Yesterday evening we stopped abruptly because of a power issue. So I'll just take off from where I stopped yesterday. And where I stopped yesterday was adjustment in the export market. Titi Ojo, thank you very much for joining. Good morning and welcome. We're talking about adjustment in the export market. Adjustment in the export market. And the fact is that you have a domestic market where you're operating and you're trying to go into the export market. And the export market has its own peculiar situation that you really need to adjust to be able to find a place in that market. If you are unwilling to adjust, then you can likewise say bye-bye to such a market, because you definitely will have to adjust to some of the conditions in the market, basically because of the way the market has been structured, and you are just coming into that market, so you need to find a way to adapt and adjust to how the market operates. And yesterday I talked about culture. I talk about the fact that culture dictates a lot about the kind of adjustment you are going to make. And I gave an example of exporting to Europe, especially to Britain, in which case you will be dealing with individuals whose power distance are very low, and you are from Africa, where the power distance is very, very high. And if you're going to be dealing with a partner in that environment who is probably younger than you, he's going to relate with you just like he relate with his friend, his colleague. And if you see it as being disrespectful before you are from Africa, you have a lot of issues. Because in his mind, he doesn't see a lot of gap between you and himself, unlike an equivalent of such person in Africa who will see you as being elderly or probably maybe a director, and he is just a manager or he is just an executive. And as far as he's concerned, he will do what he has to do, because of the mindset I have, because of the environment where he's located. So I was emphasizing how important it is, how culture could spell doom for your transaction if that culture is not well mastered. And I was talking about Ofstede Insights, that you can check that online to be able to get to know about how different people reason in different culture. You talk about individualism, you talk about power distance, you talk about indulgence, you talk about long-term orientation, it talked about masculinity and a number of other issues that you need to know, because it also helps you to understand how your market thinks, how the prospective buyer thinks, how they reason, and be able to ensure you adjust and relate with them. So we talked about Kellogg's yesterday, and we talked about Kentucky yesterday, we talked about Avon yesterday, how they adjusted. This morning we'll start with a French company who withdrew from Japanese market when the company offering and approach did not fit customers' taste and habit. The company has high hope for its new entry into China, viewing the market in that country as likely to be more receptive to their name and approach. But alas, they were wrong. The Japan very successful 7-Eleven convenience stores chain has wide difference in market penetration in various other countries as a result of differing transportation pattern and consumer buying habit. Then there's this other company, Costa Cruise, which view China's growing middle class as providing a potentially large market for cruises sailing from Shanghai and Hong Kong. Now, many of the participants on the initial cruise who came from almost a dozen ethnic regions in China had difficulty in understanding the two dialects spoken over the ship intercommunication system, unexpectedly didn't show much interest in the ship casino, and expressed great dissatisfaction with the experience. Subsequent booking by Chinese were so light that the cruise line changed its target market to Americans and discounted their prices. Now, Remember yesterday we talked about the fact that in entering a market, there are three major options. You can enter through export mode, you can enter through partnership mode, and you can enter through investment mode. And I talk about the fact that export is not just shipping goods to destination. I can decide to go beyond export mode, which is shipping goods to destination, to go into that destination and partner with someone there. That's the partnership mode. Through franchising, through licensing, through joint venture, through contract manufacturing, I can partner with someone in the export market or go into that market, register a company there, set up a new business there, and own it 100%. And all these are export because all of them are going to bring back capital to the headquarters in Nigeria. So it's still export because I'll be earning forex. But what is important in this is the fact that the mode of entry are different. And some of the examples I've given is showing how people are going into a market and entering that market to render a service in that market, to sell a product in that market, to manufacture product in that market and sell there, and then of course repatriate funds back to their country. Tina Osahon, thank you very much for joining. Good morning. Peter Omeki, thank you very much for joining. Good morning and you're welcome. Philip, the Dutch electrical and electronic company, need to manufacture its product in hundreds of different sizes and specifications to meet the differing product standard in use in various European countries, North and South America, Asia, and Africa. So remember, you know Philip is an electronic company, it's a Dutch company, but it was going to enter into other European countries, into Asian countries, into American countries, into African countries, and it has to produce hundreds of different sizes of the same product to meet different specifications of different markets. Remember, we're talking about export market entry part 3, and today we are looking at the adjustment in the market. And that the adjustment in the market is so important and so critical such that it can meet the basis for you having success in that market or even failing in that market. Why? Because the adjustment might be very, very crucial and be expensive. It's not just crucial, it can be expensive. And if that happens, then it will mean that if you are not going to be able to adjust as soon as the market expects, you then might not be able to get the desired response you want from that market. So the whole idea here basically is to let us understand the fact that different markets have different requirements. Sorry for the break in translation. Different markets have different requirements, and because different markets have different requirements, then you will need to make the necessary adjustment to be able to enter into that market. Many large Japanese companies are being fined heavily by violating American affirmative action laws for minority group in their US operations. Now, yesterday we were talking about the fact that the adjustment that you need to make, if it's not made, number one, it can make your marketing to be ineffective. Number two, it can be counterproductive. Number three, it might mean a violation of the law of the country where you are trying to enter in. And a lot of Japanese companies were guilty of this because they were not obeying the American affirmative action law for giving place to the minority group in their US operation. And this is making them to be fined by the government of the US. So meaning that if you are in an environment where they want to ensure that it's equality in terms of employment opportunity given to male and female, or to different ethnic group in that particular country, and that is not done, like in Nigeria, they talk more about federal character, only that happens more often than not in federal government employment. But the idea basically is that you want to ensure what are the regulations, laws, and rules of the market you are trying to enter, and how do you adjust to be able to fit into that. A US semiconductor manufacturer operating a plant on the island of Penang in Malaysia has provided 3 cafeteria lines in its workers' lunch room to accommodate indigenous ethnic Islamic Malays who do not eat pork, ethnic Hindu from India who do not eat beef, and ethnic Chinese who eat both pork and beef. So he's hiring now. He needs these 3 set of people in the organization, and they needed to adjust to ensure that they are not partial, catering for all the staff. Because if you enter into a market through an investment mode, you will need to have to cater for your staff, and catering for staff means that you ensure that these staff do not feel left out. Because in this company, for example, if they only think of only beef, then they will leave out the Muslim ethnic group there. If they decide to do if they do pork rather, if they do beef, they will leave out other people that eat beef. And what they have to do is to ensure that both the Chinese, who eat both pork and beef, the Hindus that don't eat beef, and the ethnic Islamic Malays who do not eat pork are all taken care of. In Malaysia, there is an affirmative action program for the majority ethnic Malays, and saying anything that might disrupt racial harmony, whether true or not, is an action of sedition. Just like some Japanese firm were fined in the US, Malaysia also have such to ensure that every ethnic group is represented. No ethnic group is disenfranchised or discriminated against in any organization. Foreign companies and government organizations operating in Saudi Arabia are required to prohibit certain action by women employees and women dependents, such as driving automobile. This, of course, will violate the law in home country of most companies. Now, in some countries, they want equality for women to ensure that women can drive and do all that they need to do. But in Saudi, that will not be allowed. So you can't hire a woman and expect that he will, in his official duty, will have to drive himself. You probably have to get a driver for that, even though Saudi is changing that now. But these are adjustments that need to be made in export market. Many countries have restrictions on advertisement and promotion, such as prohibiting comparison of one company product with competing products. So in some environment, it is a taboo to compare one product to the other. Advertise your own product, give the features and benefits of your product, leave other product alone. Leave other product alone. That's the way they want it in some other environment. So you really cannot compare one product to the other, comparing product, offering of free samples, advertising considered offensive or against public interest when this is done. Now, so the business activity that must be carried out in marketing and adjusted to accommodate differences in the international market include: number 1, analysis of market and market potential. Analysis of market and the potential of that market. General analysis of the market and the potential. Wendy Bira, thank you very much for joining. Good morning and welcome. The planning and development of product and services that consumer want. Clearly identify in a suitable package. The planning and development of products and services that consumers want. Clearly identify in a suitable package. The distribution of products through channels that provide the service or services and convenience demanded by purchasers. Also, you need to look at this, the promotion of products and services, including advertisement and the personnel doing the advertisement. Then selling to inform and educate consumer about this product and services, or persuade consumer to try new, improved and different way of satisfying their needs and their wants. Remember, we're looking at the business activity that must be carried out in marketing and adjusted to accommodate the demand in the new market. Then setting of prices that reflect both reasonable value of the product or service to the consumer as well as satisfactory profit or return on investment. Then technical and non-technical support given to customer. This is a very serious issue in some market. Technical and non-technical support, both before and after sales, is made to ensure their satisfaction and thus pave the way for future sales as necessary for company survival and growth, even penetration in that market. Then, of course, the organizational structure and management and the remuneration of foreign employees become extremely, extremely important. So basically what we're saying is that there is need for adjustment in the market. These adjustments are very important and very essential and very critical. These adjustments may mean adjusting the product, the services. In fact, it may mean adjusting the way you package. It may mean adjusting the way you label. It may mean adjusting the way you, the kind of material you are using to package. Whereas you are using a paper wrap and the market expects you to use a nylon-like wrap. And in some environment, maybe it will be can or bottle or glass bottle. Now, these adjustments are what you must know, what you must learn, what you must adapt and work towards if you will be able to survive in the target export market. If this is not done, it might mean that your progress in that market, your success in that market will be affected and you won't be able to make the desired progress simply because you decided not to do things the way the market expects you. Always remember, in any venture, you will have your idea of what you think you want to do and how you want to do it. But the market often will dictate what it wants. The market often will dictate what it wants. And if you do not give the market what it wants, you might not be able to make desired progress. Sorry for the distraction. You know, you might not be able to get that desired progress, make that desired progress because you simply have not adjusted to what the market is asking you to do. And this is very important because sometimes people don't even take time to investigate and know what the requirement of the market is. Sometimes it might even be the size of what you want to export. I've used this example severally for PAP that we were expected to reduce the size to make it easier for more people to buy and try out. We've got cases where people package also in nylon and the market wants it in a plastic container. And you have to put it in a plastic container. Some put it in bottle and the market wants it in can. Some are used to a situation where they do direct export, but some market want indirect export. And what is the difference between the two? Direct export, I'm shipping to the final buyer directly. In indirect export, I'm going through a middleman, an agent or distributor. An agent or distributor. Now, let me tell you something about some market. In some market, if your product is new and nobody have tried it out before, look at the challenge you will likely face. You might need to get an agent in that country, get a warehouse in that country, move the good into that warehouse, and then get the people to come in and pick. Get the people to come in and pick the sample. Try out a little quantity because they've not tried it before. They want to try it, but they don't want large quantity. If you ship small quantity, it won't be profitable. Your research already showed this product have market potential, but the people want to try it out in small quantity. You might need to either go with the product and visit the market yourself with sample of the product, give the people to put it on their shelf and see what the response is like. Or you ship it in reasonable quantity, put it in a warehouse from where you can begin to sell to them on a small quantity. There's a woman that sells Gary in the UK, I heard, and this was a wholesaler in the UK, a Nigerian, discussing with me with us. It was a trade mission, was telling us about this experience, that this Nigerian sell Gary, and Gary is like pure water in the UK. I mean, everybody have it. I mean, people bring it in drones. Now this Gary from this woman somewhere in Delta is shipped in containers. As the good is arriving, the woman flies into the UK, get his agent to clear the goods, get his agent to clear the goods, and having cleared the goods, move it to a warehouse, then begin to inform his potential buyer who come there to pick it up. Now, it started this way and it has continued like that forever. Basically because he finds it easier to sell within a short time, and is even able to charge a premium because of the quality of his product and the kind of demand the kind of premium people place on it because of the feedback from the customers that buy from the retailers and the wholesalers. And basically what I'm saying in essence is that adjustment in the export market is important. Adjustment in the export market is critical. Adjustment in the export market will dictate the kind of progress and success you make in that market. So, like I said earlier, some market might require you doing the direct mode or indirect mode. Direct mode and indirect mode are under export mode, and I'll be explaining that much later. But basically what I'm saying in essence is that the nature of the market, the culture of the people, the structure of the economy, even the political consideration might serve as the basis for taking decision on how you want to enter into that market. So take time to compare where you are to where you want to go. Take time to compare where you are to where you want to go. At least at the level of culture. At least at the level of culture. Now let me talk a little bit more about culture this morning. I will be going back to that website we used yesterday, and that website is called Hofstede Insight. Hofstede Insight. Hofstede means H-O-F-S-T-E-D. Hofstede Insight. Sorry, I'm adjusting this thing because I need to go to that website. Hofstede Insight is a website that enables you compare countries. Enables you. So let's say I want to export to, let's say Germany. Then I'm comparing Nigeria and the German. Comparing Nigeria and the German. Now, as far as power distance is concerned, Germany have a higher power distance than Nigeria. It's interesting. Germany has a higher power distance than Nigeria. Let's look at the US. Because I know a lot of people want to export to the US. United States. Nigeria have a higher power distance than United States. Nigeria have a higher power distance than United States. United States are more individualistic than Nigeria. I will explain the meaning of this later on. United States are more individualistic. There's a door that is open. United States is more individualistic than Nigeria. In terms of masculinity, Nigeria and United States are similar. Uncertainty avoidance, we are pretty much similar as United States. We are 55, United States 46. Long-term orientation, United States have a higher long-term orientation than Nigeria, even though United States also is not as good as, okay, let me compare also with China. Maybe that will help us to make a sense of this with China. So in power distance, Nigeria and China are on the same level, whereas United States is lower. But in the individualism, United States is higher, followed by Nigeria, and followed by China. China is more of a collective society. They are not very individualistic. They like to do stuff together. like to do stuff together. Unlike United States, Nigeria also is a bit close, but United States want to be on their own, individualistic. Masculinity. All of us are at the same level. Desire to achieve, to get things done. Uncertainty avoidance. China, Nigeria and United States are more risk taker than Chinese. Nigerians are more of risk taker than Chinese. But in terms of long-term orientation, China have a they are very highly long-term oriented than United States, and United States is more than Nigeria. In terms of indulgence, Chinese don't indulge at all. Nigeria indulge a lot. United States also indulge, but not as much as Nigeria. What does this mean for your business? If you are going to ship goods that in luxury goods, you are not going to sell very much in China. You are going to sell a lot in United States if you are shipping from Nigeria. Because Nigeria love indulgence, United States also love indulgence. So you are going to do more and do well in United States than in China. Because China don't indulge. Now, if you are dealing with a Chinese buyer, because they have a long-term orientation, whatever they are doing with you today, they have a mindset of building an enduring relationship. United States don't mind if you do once and move on. But Chinese mind. So Chinese in all his relationship and discussion is thinking a lot about where does this business lead us? Where does this business lead us? Now, but if you look at United States under power distance, even if you are dealing with a middle management or even a lower level person, he will talk to you like a pal, a friend. No serious respect of Sam bending down, up and down. But Chinese, we do that the way we will do. So in relating with that buyer who is from United States, you need to have that mindset. Now, you can check out Hofstede Insight to be able to learn more about this. HOFSTEDE-Insight. INSIGHTES. Hofstede-Insight, insight with S.com. And you'll be able to compare different countries. And then, of course, you can also read more to be able to understand the basis for those categorization, to be able to take informed decision as you go into export business. I'll be running off here this morning, and then later on in the evening, we'll be discussing export marketing channels, the channel for marketing your product in the export market. Thank you very much for listening again. This is Import-Export Helpline from 3T Impest Trade Academy. See you in the evening by 6 p.m. Have a good day at work. Bye for now.